Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Apocalypse Sue. And now here he is. Make it loud for him, Mr. Eddie Pepitone.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie Pepitone. Welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. And I think you will see that this week's episode does not have any upside. It is really bleak, but hopefully really funny. I am in a hotel room in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm about to do my third show here in 2 nights. I have a bit of a cold, I think. I immediately think of COVID, which I just got over, but I don't think it's that. I think I'm just a little run down. But the civilization is a little run down, isn't it? So anyway, this is an episode that me and Kevin Tinkin, my illustrious producer who's going to put it all together, we're doing this remotely, and by remotely, I mean I feel very remote. So I'm just doing all the segments remotely. I think they're pretty high quality. Like I said, they're extremely bleak, hopefully extremely funny. Kevin will put them all together in a beautiful package. And please enjoy it. And go to eddiepepitone.com. You will see me traveling all over the goddamn place. Next week, it's 3 cities in Tennessee, a couple in North Carolina, and like 3 cities in Georgia. God help me and God help us all. All right, enjoy the podcast.
And now relieve your mind and relax your spirit on Guided Meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
All right, everybody. All right, I want everybody to just relax. Let the world that has been driving you insane, let the world just roll out of your shoulders. Let that cruel world, the world that put everyone in your family in a insane asylum where they're in chairs looking longingly toward the ocean like Meryl Streep in French Lieutenant's Woman. And if you haven't seen that movie, don't worry, you didn't miss much. Jeremy Irons is in it. He's good, but he's overrated and his skin is leathery. Okay, I want you to just breathe all of that out. French Lieutenant's Woman, the insanity of the world where all your family members have been left in mental institutions, funny farms, whatever word you want to use. It's all cruel. Everything in the world is cruel and random and desperate. Is there a God? Is there a God? I don't think so. I don't have positive proof, but if I had to go with yes or no, I'm leaning toward no, just on the basis of what I see in my apartment building. Breathe all of that in. Hopefully you're in light-fitting clothing. Oh, hopefully you're in clothing that is so light that when you move, it tears. Because it's not made very well. It's made in a third world country, which is to say it's made in the United States. Because, as you know, the United States is pretty much a third world country at this point. Just take a look around you. Okay, folks. Now, with your out-breath, I want you to let go. Just let go of that railing you're holding on to and jump. take a leap of faith, even though there is no God. Take a leap of faith into the abyss. Because, folks, meditators out there, you know that meditation really doesn't work. If it did, would we have this type of world? Just realize, folks, that we are a doomed species, and I'm bleeding even as I speak to you, because I have brushed my hand against a very sharp object that's sticking out of the wall here in my apartment. Okay, so I want everybody to breathe out the fact that you're jumping into an abyss of shit. Just an abyss of shit. And you're swimming in a long river of regret. Breathe all of that out no longer. My point is here, this is about healing that cannot take place. My meditations. Oh, sorry about the cough, folks. But one thing you have to realize is I am human. You are human. What does human mean? It means that we are fragile, and this fragility is going to kill us very shortly. But I want you to breathe out the fact that you're in an abyss, a long river of regret and hopelessness. And now, with your in-breath, I want you to see a giant ball of black and green and purple light that is flickering until you get a seizure. Breathe that in, giant ball of black and green and purple light that's flickering, and then you're going to have a seizure. And with that, I want you to realize that this seizure is collective. It's a collective seizure by the whole human race, because it's all too late now, folks, to reverse the hate, to reverse the climate disasters, to reverse the violence, to reverse the viruses. Breathe that in. Everything is irreversible. And now with your out-breath, I want you to think of the happiest thing that ever happened to you when you were strapped down in the back of the bus by bullies. Just think of the happiest thing that ever happened to you when you were strapped down by bullies in the back of a bus when you were in grade school. When you were in school, just think about that. I think we all know that there had to be a happy moment when you were restrained in the back of a bus and all the kids were around you jeering at you. There had to be a happy thought that passed through, like maybe when you planted a flower, or you saw a flower bud, or maybe you saw one of the bullies bleed out. Whatever it is, I want you to breathe that out. And with your final in-breath, I want you to go to your car. I want you to get in your car as you are breathing in. I want you to turn on your ignition, and I want you to drive to your nearest Jiffy Lube. I want you to drive to your nearest Jiffy Lube I don't want you to have anything done to your car. I don't want anything in your car lubed. I just want you to drive to your nearest Jiffy Lube and sit there idling the engine and giving the finger to the gentleman or woman who runs the Jiffy Lube. Yes, just do it.
Thanks for joining us for another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Hey everybody, Eddie Pepitone on the road. As you know, I told you this episode is a remote episode. Not that I'm distant from you, but that we are doing it remotely, and I'm here with my special guest and comedy cohort, comedy partner in crime, JT Habersatt. JT, say hello.
Hello.
And I think that's the end of the interview. We're just going to go real short there. I just wanted you to hear JT. No, that's not true.
Goodbye.
I'm just being funny, guys. So we're in a hotel.
I think technically it's what's between a motel and a hotel?
Yeah.
The middle ground.
Yeah, we are in an airport hotel or motel. Call it a moho. Mm-hmm. And it's bleak. By an airport. Yeah,
anything by an airport is always a little dodgy. It's its own genre, right? An airport hotel is you can't be picky or fancy.
Well, it's always in industrial areas, right? Like because the city. Sorry, folks. I let's hope I don't have COVID.
The airport hotel strain.
But it's always in an industrial part of the city because the city has to give all this land to the airport, and then these hotels are on the fringe. It's on the fringes of society. While you were out getting pizza for us, JT, I heard just people screaming in the hall.
Oh, yeah. Well, that can also be a haunting. Sometimes it's not always living people. Sometimes that's the unrested dead.
That's right. Now, if you die, by the way, for everybody, and this is for everybody, if you die and
that's a big if.
It is a big if.
With technology and such.
Well, if you die in an airport hotel, you will come back and haunt others. And it will be fun, I think, because when I close my eyes in an airport hotel, I am too scared to just be alone. I don't know about you, but I have to listen to rain sounds or I have YouTube access. Sometimes
I get lonely, but then I hear all of the other people yelling, and I don't feel lonely anymore. When the paper-thin walls there's like a party happening next door. It's someone's birthday, and there's kazoos involved.
Anyway, I just wanted to paint a picture for you guys nestled in your nice homes. Nestled is a good word.
I should use nestled more often.
Yeah, nestled is a kind of a shunned word lately. But anyway, I want to say, I just painting the picture, airport hotel. We're about to do our last show in Chicago. I flew out, and JT flew out on Thursday. JT from Austin, me from New York. And we've been going ever since. What's your impression so far, JT?
I think the last time we kind of came through some of these markets, we were in a borrowed car because the rental agency canceled our vehicle on us a half hour before we were picking it up. And so thankfully, Chad Ryden, a comedian pal of ours in Nashville, lent us a car, but it had no air conditioning. So we were driving through last summer like Thelma and Louise, brutally hot with the windows down. And so we've had a nice rental car, and it's been cooler. So the ride has been much more pleasant. You've been regaling me with awesome satellite radio.
That's right. I played for JT, and I recommend this to you if you have satellite radio. Little Stevie's Underground Garage, Drew Carey. Yes, The Price is Right's Drew Carey, which is how he intros himself, which I think is a disservice. I don't know.
It's funny he does that,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's funny that Drew Carey says, "Hi, I'm Drew Carey from The Price is Right." It's like I wouldn't even mention. I would not want to mention that because The Price is Right to me is horrific. But anyway. He has a show called Friday Night Freakout on Little Stevie's Underground Garage.
Real good.
And it is great music. So we drove from Louisville, and this is just to give you a flavor of the tour. We drove from Louisville to Chicago about 6 hours, was it?
6 hours, but we went through a time zone change, so we gained an hour because time isn't real.
Yes, and I always notice that I ask JT, hey, how long is the ride? And JT always lowballs it because he doesn't want me going insane. He goes 4 and change, and it turns out to be a lot of change.
Well, the change is usually 4 hours and 53 minutes, but I know you, and I'm like, if we'll just say 4 and change because that's technically, I would never lie to you, but that's technically true. And this way, it kind of hedges the bets a little bit.
Yeah, and we've had great shows. I mean, I have to say that the tours with you, JT, have been so much fun. Like, JT, you were in a punk band, and you know all these venues, and they're cool venues. And me and JT always talk about how we hate the fucking clubs.
Yes.
They can suck our collective dicks, which is two dicks they can suck.
We're socialist dicks.
Yeah, because they're just bean counters at clubs. They have no fucking artistic bent. They just want to see numbers. You know, that's all they want to see. And so we rent out these we play these cool venues in Louisville. What a cool venue, Planet of the Tapes, and
great.
And here in Chicago, Lincoln Lodge, which we have great shows in Chicago. Just packed crowd last night. Tonight, as we're recording this, I don't know when you guys will get it, but this is Monday, August 15th, not to brag, and we will have Bobcat Goldthwait on.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Who was with us last year in Chicago. What a delight.
Yeah, and people fucking love Bobcat. So it's going to be another great night tonight. And then we get on a fucking plane at JT just informed me of this. 5 a.m. we have to take 5 a.m.
5 a.m. and change.
That's after I DJ and change. I'll be going through it's 5 a.m. I said this sounds like an anti-anxiety pill morning because when I get no sleep, I'm just not good.
I've gotten to my happy place of taking an edible before every flight, but I forgot. Like I don't have an edible for the flight tomorrow, and I don't want to buy a pack of edibles and then fly with them. You know what I mean? So like
you don't want to risk flying.
Well, we're going to the Carolinas, and I don't know what their laws are there, but I'm presuming not great. And so I'm just gonna probably Xanax it tomorrow. I think.
I have just an anti-anxiety thing pill that kind of sucks. I used to have good ones, but anyway, I don't know. 5 a.m. Shuttle, so we could get a 7 a.m. flight, and we go to North Carolina in Raleigh, and we don't have a show Tuesday night. It turns out, because Goodnights fucking didn't get their liquor license,
which we found out 4 days ago.
Yeah. So fuck them hard, and now so then we're going to go to I think it's Richmond, Virginia on Wednesday. First time we both. Have you ever played Richmond?
I played Richmond about 7 years ago at a venue that's not there anymore called Strange Matter. It was like a rock club, but I haven't been back since. And Sandman Comedy Club is the new Richmond spot. And it's supposed to be really cool. It's supposed to be there's one other place in Rhode Island I've done a comedy. The Comedy Connection in Rhode Island used to be a bank. And the green room is a giant walk-in safe, and apparently the Sandman Comedy Club is like that. It's supposed to be like kind of strange.
Nice. I like. I don't know. I like when institutions of abuse, like a bank, is turned into comedy clubs, and I think that's what we should aim for. Like turn a Monsanto plant into a flume ride. You know, something. Things like that. Turn banks into comedy clubs.
Or like a 2-drink minimum, but they add an interest rate to your bill at the end.
Yeah. So we go to Richmond, and then we go Then we go to Roger Waters. Me and JT are going to see fucking Roger Waters.
3 years we've had these fucking tickets. 3 years.
Yeah. And what is he doing in this one?
It's in the round. The last time I saw him in 2018, it was very Animals album heavy and very anti-Trump, which I love. But from what I've been hearing, he's been playing stuff off the final cut, and just a lot of really awesome stuff. So I can't wait, man.
Wow. Roger Waters may be my all-time favorite lyricist. I think Waters' lyrics are just scathing.
Have you ever heard Cinderella?
No. Oh, Cinderella, you fuck. All right.
Also brilliant lyricist.
JT got me on that one.
I'm very funny.
But anyway, so here we are. And we're
speaking of painting a picture, I should. You are buried under so many pillows and blankets and comfort right now. It looks like you built a fort on top of yourself. Yes. And I'm sitting in a jankety ass chair. I'm very jealous of your comfort. It's good.
Yes, I am doing. I'm a bedridden model. I used to model from bed because of an injury, and I would model all kinds of different tank top T-shirts for blue collar men.
I think I'm wearing one right now. This is literally that's the reason I bought it.
Let's hope this is allergies, huh, folks?
It is.
All right. Well, we just want to give you a little flavor. We're going to go to North Carolina, then we're Richmond, Virginia, then we go to fucking Tennessee, 3 cities.
Well, before that, yes, that's absolutely true. But we have we're doing a return trip for a full weekend to the wonderful club in Greensboro, North Carolina, known as the Idiot Box, which is one of the, when we talk about
Jenny
Stencil, she runs it, she's great. When we talk about we don't like the clubs, we mean chains. We don't mean independent comedy clubs, because they're largely great and they usually get it.
Right, and the bigger they are, the worse they are. The Idiot Box is a great little club, and I like it.
Yeah. So we're there for a weekend, Friday and Saturday of this weekend, and then Sunday is a day off / drive day, which is a couple hours and change. But then we do our first ever Memphis show together next Monday.
We didn't do Memphis last time?
We have been in a holding pattern with Memphis because in 2020, you and I were booked to headline the Memphis Comedy Festival.
Oh,
and so they had a hold on us to come back.
What happened? 2020. Oh, it was the fucking...
Yes, something happened.
It was the first of many pandemics, folks, and I think if you listen to this podcast, you know about the eco collapse, and you know that this pandemic, they've already found polio in the water in New York. Monkeypox has been declared a health emergency. So these pandemics are going to be more frequent, and that's why we're trying to get in a bunch of shows now.
We're really making up for lost and diminishing time.
Time is lost and diminishing as we speak.
But yeah, so Memphis, much like a lot of people have been messaging me saying, why don't you guys come to Arizona? We were supposed to headline the Bird City Comedy Festival in Phoenix then, too. So any of those markets we haven't been to, odds are we had some sort of contractual got to wait and see to reschedule. But Memphis is not rescheduling, so we booked our own show, and that's at the High Tone, which is a phenomenal venue.
Is it?
Great venue. I've done Memphis many times. Josh McClain and Richard Douglas Jones will be on those shows with us, who are super funny. Then we go to Nashville and do the East Room, which we did about a year ago.
Was that the brewery type place?
No, it's the Rock Place. It's the Rock Place where you had the band back us up. They had like a jazz band on stage behind us.
Oh,
and it was
shit.
Very Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra vibe.
I love that shit. I love, because we had a fucking great little band behind us in Santa Cruz.
What a great show that was.
Oh, my God. And I went out of my mind just singing tunes with them.
You sang for a solid 7 minutes, I think.
Oh, man. I really like singing, you know. I like singing in a shower a lot. Like, here's a song I'll sing in a shower. And tell me if you folks think this is great. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me, God. You've already hurt me. I think it's about time you backed the fuck off.
See, if you had done a duet with Bob Saget, maybe he'd be around today. If he had sang in his own hotel room that specific "Don't fuck with me, don't hurt me" song.
See, I have nothing to do with what he just said.
You coward. This is the last show together tonight. That's it, folks. You heard it. Yeah, but then we go through Tennessee. We do JJ's Bohemia in Chattanooga, which is such a great venue. And then we're doing some places we've never been before, like Macon, Georgia, and Savannah. And I have no idea what to expect.
Well, I'm afraid of Macon, Georgia, because To me, that's where I heard civil rights workers were killed growing up.
Okay.
Things like that.
Well, I would recommend leaning into a local catchphrase like, hello, Georgia, you're making me nervous. Or something like that.
Yeah. When you have a word like making, you always want to say, hey, I'm making hay. Or I'm making...
you're making me crazy, man, or something.
I'm not crazy. Anyway, yeah, so it will be interesting, but one thing I have faith in JT. JT always books us into decent places, and so far we've not had any fucking difficulties.
We've been really... I don't want to say lucky because we work really hard, but like we just finished up that run across Colorado, and like we did like the zoo bar in Nebraska, and it was just like so great and so enthusiastic. And
oh my God, the zoo bar in Nebraska!
Shout out to Brad Stewart who runs the zoo bar.
Oh my God, they were insane. People were just so pumped up to see us.
Yeah, it's great. It feels nice. And Des Moines, we did Des Moines.
That was a fun show.
Monday night. On a Monday, you never know what to expect. We were like, they're usually closed. Teehee's Comedy Club.
Teehee's.
Great spot. Wish you would change your name. I don't like saying Teehee's.
Teehee's is sort of like Snickers or Guffaws.
Yep. Anything with a Z instead of an S.
But, right. We Des Moines, Nebraska, and then Wichita, we came back to Barleycorn. So we've been, God damn it, man, we've been all over this great land, and we're about to go over some more of this crumbling empire, huh?
Yeah, we end 2 weeks from yesterday. I can do the math now. In
where?
Oh, where? We're Wilmington. Yes, at the Dead Crow Comedy Club, which I've been wanting to play forever.
Ooh.
I've never been there. I hear it's very, very nice.
And Wilmington, by the way, is right on the coast. We're going to be there in hurricane season.
Woo-hoo!
I am hoping that if there is a hurricane that comes to Wilmington, it comes on the 30th, because I'll be leaving the 29th.
After we fled.
Oh, God. But, so Wilmington should be really interesting. I went to Wilmington once with an improv group, and I remember it was...
this was 2018, or...
It was when I was wayward back then.
We're going to need a year and a month, everybody. Who can give us a year and a month?
Anyway, it was just coastal and beautiful. Yeah. I remember, and I remember a storm came in, and I immediately kind of reverted to my old sea chanty self. I would be like, I took on an accent. I was like, I was in an improv group, remember? So, there's a storm coming and it looks nasty.
Did you pretend to have an umbrella? You're like holding it against the wind, and everybody's like, what is that guy doing?
Yes, well, there's a lot of improv tricks, but I was like, you better button down the hatches,
I'm trying, because that's vaguely Scottish, but there's also a little bit of like Swedish Chef from the Muppets in there.
I'm always teetering on Swedish, my friend.
Teetering on Swedish.
Teetering on Swedish is the name of my dialect take. But anyway, so it looks like it's going to be a great tour. I hope I recover physically.
I think you'll be okay. And we have a lot of festivals coming up, speaking of the ones that have been canceled.
Let's hear it.
Well, we have the Altercation Comedy Festival that I run in Austin, Texas. Right. Shameless self-promotion. You're going to be there alongside a lot of our friends like Jackie Cation and Henry Phillips. The great Henry Phillips will be there.
Henry.
Oh, he's the best.
Cooking with Henry on YouTube. Such a good show.
Check it out. If you haven't seen Punching the Clown, watch that immediately. Right. Also, so many James Adomian. Finally got James coming in.
James, maybe one of the funniest men alive today, James Adomian.
I've been trying to make it work schedule-wise with James to get him in for Altercation Fest for so long. And many more, Dante Powell and countless others. So altercationcomedyfest.com for that. That's late October in Austin. And we are doing the Savage Henry Comedy Festival in Eureka, California.
When is that?
That is the first weekend in October. I think it's the 7th through the 9th. We'll be out there with Derek Sheen and a bunch of others. And then you fly and do Skankfest in Vegas. We have a lot of stuff on the horizon. And
yeah. All right. Well, I just wanted to say to everybody, I will be churning out these podcasts.
Churning.
Hopefully, on the road. And I want everybody to become a Patreon member. Patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone, write a review, all that good stuff. My incredible producer, Kevin Tinkin, and comedy cohort, Kevin.
He does a great job.
He does really do a great job.
And I have to say, the Ode to Pepitone cologne thing killed me. I was cackling like a Macbethian witch in my hotel room the other night.
Yeah. Kevin does a great job putting those together. So, all right, everybody, we will see you soon on on Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.
And now joining us in the field, the last newscaster on Earth.
Good evening, I am the last newscaster on Earth, and I have our top story. Our top story tonight: I cannot find anyone to talk to. That's right. As much as I have tried, I cannot find anyone to talk to. Anyone, because there's no one left but me. But I will continue on in case there is anyone out there. And now, let's go to no one for sports. God damn it, it's so lonely here. Okay, thank you, whoever you are. And now, I have breaking news. Breaking news, nothing has changed. Nothing will change. I am so goddamn lonely, but I will continue on, because if there's one thing a news anchor has to do, it's deliver the news, even if there is no one on the planet. I will deliver the news. So let's go to... All right, I'll do the weather. The weather is frightening. It's cold out there, it's cold out there. The weather is frightening, it's a nuclear winter. It's a winter, but it's hot. I'm losing my mind. Hey, does anyone know how to make bread? A lot of people, they made bread during the pandemic, and now since the apocalypse, it's just me singing a song. I'm a clown in an elephant's ass. I'm a clown in an elephant's ass. You can just plug me in and use me for a vibrator. My antidepressants were burned in the Great Fire. There's no more antidepressants to take, or a psychiatrist to monitor me. God damn it. This is the last newscaster on Earth, and I'm sorry for slipping into an insane song. We have breaking news. Breaking news. My leg has fallen asleep. That's right, I have no feeling in my right leg, and that's the least of my problems. Loneliness is my biggest problem. And now, let's go to no one for nothing. Oh my God!
Thanks for joining us for the last newscaster on Earth.
And now, another episode of Painting in the Apocalypse with Frank Lectin. Okay, everybody, let's get our canvases. How about today we paint a forest that was destroyed by the nuclear winter that destroyed us all? Okay, so let's paint that. And as you know, it's very easy because everything is just white now. All we see is bright white, and there's no other gradations in color. So essentially, what I want you to do is don't touch any of your paints. Don't touch anything. You don't need a canvas. You don't need a smock. You don't need a palette of colors. It's just all white. There's nothing to paint. There's nothing to even sketch. There's nothing to think about. We live in a white darkness. Okay, next week we'll be painting a mall. I'm going to show you how to paint a mall that has been obliterated by the nuclear winter that we went through. And here's a hint about next week's painting. It's very similar to this week's. That was Painting in the Apocalypse with Frank Linton.
And now checking in with Al and Margaret, a couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
Hey, Al! Al! Wake up, Al! Wake up, Al! Al, wake up! Al? Are you okay? Wake up, Al! Al, wake up! Wake up, Al!
Oh, what's going on, Margaret? What's going on?
Al, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. You have to wake up.
Margaret, is your voice okay? It doesn't sound good.
Al, you don't sound like yourself either.
Oh, come on, Margaret. Let's not quibble over the tenor and the tone of our voices.
Okay, Al, but why are you sleeping so late? I'm making a beautiful duck casserole.
Duck casserole? Margaret, they're such beautiful creatures. Why are you cooking duck?
Oh, Al, please don't start with the animal rights. By the way, the paper says we're all gonna die.
Look, Margaret, I don't have time to talk about the collapse of civilization. I have to clean the gutters.
Oh, Al, will you stop about the minutia? Because there's bigger stuff that looms. There's bigger stuff, Al, that looms.
Margaret, I cannot do my daily chores if you keep telling me about the impending collapse.
Al, can we not have this discussion? The duck casserole is almost ready.
I smell the duck, Margaret. And if there's one thing I don't like, Margaret, is the smell of duck in the morning. The thick smell of duck in the morning when I get up in our New Hampshire home, right by the ocean, this New Hampshire home by the ocean, in this whaling community, and I smell duck. It goes in my lungs, and I cannot take it, Margaret.
Al, will you stop doing a parody of Apocalypse Now and just get up, put your pants on, and realize that our civilization is ending? And don't forget to take your antidepressants.
Where are my antidepressants, Margaret?
They're behind the soy milk in the refrigerator. Why do you always put my antidepressants behind the soy milk? I told you, if I told you once, I told you 1,000,000 times, I want my antidepressants put behind the oat milk. The oat milk, Margaret. Al, I think that putting the antidepressants behind non-dairy milk in the refrigerator is ridiculous. Okay? Now, I love you, Al. I don't want to get this morning off to a bad start.
Oh, Margaret, I'm sorry. I'm just out of sorts. I guess with the smell of duck, and that I have to clean the gutters and our civilization is ending. Not to mention that we're not even real.
Oh, don't start, Al, please. Please. I can't take another conversation with you where we debate if we're just figments of the imagination of Eddie Pepitone or we're people living in a New Hampshire whaling community by the ocean.
Margaret, come on. First of all, New Hampshire isn't by the ocean. Second of all, whaling has stopped. You know, at least in America, I think. I don't know. I don't read anymore like the rest of the country. Margaret, come on. You know we're making all this shit up as we go along.
Please don't curse, Al.
I'm sorry, Margaret. But I love you. You know I do. But you know it's just Eddie Pepitone. Him losing it. He's actually in a hotel room right now in Louisville. He's trying to get the podcast together, and he's in a hotel room. He just had some lunch. He's blowing his nose. He doesn't feel that good, and he says, I gotta get this segment out for all the people who depend on him.
Al, for Christ's sakes, just hold me. I don't want to think that we're in a hotel room in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't like Kentucky.
Margaret, Kentucky's like any other place. It's just people who are struggling to be happy in a futile attempt at happiness.
Oh, Al, I almost called you Margaret, Al.
See what I mean? Al, I mean Margaret.
Oh, Al, I think you're right. We are just figments of the imagination of Eddie Pepitone. Oh, just, Al, why don't we just sit here and look out the hotel window and pretend we're real?
Oh, Margaret, don't cry. Don't cry. One day, when Eddie goes into a mental institution where they serve really fine duck l'orange, and he's put on the right meds, maybe he'll unify all his personalities, and me and you will be able to get walk-on parts on sitcoms.
Al, you're not making sense, but I love you.
And I love you, Margaret.
You're not going to end the bit now, are you, Al? It sounds too abrupt.
Oh, Margaret, I love you, but I think this bit should come to an end.
Margaret, I mean, Al, oh, God.
You see, Margaret, it's all a hoax, Margaret. Hold me, Margaret, hold me.
Oh, Al, I've got to go take the duck out of the oven.
Is that code, Margaret? Is taking the duck out of the oven code for we need to have sex?
Now that you mention it.
You are dressed nice, Margaret.
Oh, Al, come here and love me.
Okay. Let me turn the oven off first.
Thanks for joining us for Checking In with Al and Margaret, a couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that remote podcast done from a hotel room, and I hope you enjoyed it all. I reached down deep in my soul to bring you the bleakest viewpoints I can imagine. Now look, you need to write us a review on iTunes. You need to recommend the podcast. You need to become a Patreon member. Yes, so write a review, write a review wherever you write reviews for podcasts. And also, Patreon member, patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone. Keep listening to the podcast. Keep recommending it. I will continue to do these because we need it. It's all coming down around us. And that's why this is the podcast with no upside. Hope you enjoyed it. More to come.